Good afternoon and welcome to the live studios of Independent Television. This 60 Minutes Nigeria current affairs program that creates a platform for very educational discussion and insight analysis of topical issues. My name is Egosa Agbonlaho. Today's program promises to be very educative and of course instructive as well. We must say that education is one aspect of Nigeria's development that we cannot toy with. It is very pivotal. It is pivotal to the development of the country. When you talk about education, you look at the primary, but in contemporary times, we will have pre-primary. And that has to do with the nursery. And we don't need to go into all that, but we have the primary, we have the tertiary education. But our focus today has to do with the tertiary education, which has to do with the universities. We are narrowing it down to universities. There is a freeze in public university education, and they want to look at the effect of the ASUU warning strike. 2 weeks warning strike by ASUU, the toll, the effect on education in Nigeria. But don't forget, the private universities are not affected. Well, I have in the studio very distinguished personalities. I have His Royal Highness Alhaji Bako Dogo. He is very versatile and very experienced. His Royal Highness Bako Dogo, you are welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, viewers too.
Okay. We also have in the studio a very respected clergyman, entrepreneur, and a man that has done well in agriculture as well. Talking about Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. Nice to have you with us today.
God bless you, viewer at home, and God bless you. Bless ITV.
Okay. Joining us virtually is the HOD. Okay, I understand that we're having connection problems. But once we have the connection, we will introduce our third guest who will be joining us virtually. That is being sorted out by our team of engineers. My name is Egosa Agbonlaho. Welcome to the program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. Let me give you another insight to the background of our discussion. ASUU strike started on Monday, 13th October 2025. And it's a two weeks for this strike, but the Minister of Education is not taking it lightly this time around. Dr. Tunji Alausa has issued a directive of no work, no pay. But the NLC has also reacted to this no work, no pay directive of the federal government, which is their own reaction to the ASUU strike. NLC has made it very clear that it is not proper to attack ASUU, but rather there are other ways that the problem can be resolved. So that's the situation. The students are at home now. They are unable to write their exams. Some students were actually writing exams when the strike started, and so it was stopped. Destruction in tertiary education in Nigeria, and it is very disheartening. But let me start with His Royal Highness Alhaji Bako Dogo, who is very versatile, like I've told you. And what's your opening remarks today? Because as a parent, it seems to be a recurring decimal in Nigeria, ASUU strike.
Well, first of all, the issue of the strike from ASUU, which I call unnecessary, because when I listened to the ASUU chairman the other time, he was complaining about this discussion they have been having. And the discussion they have been having is like the minister is also not doing the right thing, playing them. Now again, the one that baffles me most is when the minister is issuing threats of no work, no pay. In a legitimate fight, you don't threaten people with that. we the parents, we know what we are facing. If you are telling them no work, no pay, have you done the right thing, the needful, by meeting to their demands? If you have not met to their demands, you don't need to be threatening them with no work, no pay. For example now, NSC have just made a statement. If those who are not join the strike, what will you not say? We will not say no work, no pay when the country is totally collapsed. So the parents, we are being touched. Look at private university right now. They are not on strike. They didn't join. But it now looks as if putting your children in a government university is now becoming a problem to us. Then that is why you see, some of us are having a think, taking our children back to private universities. I urge the federal government, mostly the Minister for Education. I don't know whether he's learning how to creep. If he's not learning, it's a dialogue. It's a matter of dialogue. You must dialogue with these people, because the issue of strike is the last hope for them, and it's a legitimate right for the people to go to strike. Is not only done in Nigeria; it's done all over the world. When you are bargaining and you don't be able to reach to the bargain, you go on strike in order. What they have done is just 2-week strike. That 2-week strike, you don't tell them no work, no pay. You are making it. You want to ignite a fire upon other these things so that people will not have trust in the university system any longer. I think the Senate, the House of Reps should wade into this matter so that it will not deteriorate out of hand. Now the NSC is issuing warning now that if they are going to support them, if they are supporting that, there's going to be a problem. Because I remember in this country where there was strike for almost about 9 months. We don't want that kind of thing to repeat again. Some people are supposed to have graduated and some of them are still in school right now, which is not, it doesn't go well for the nation. Nigeria, that we call the giant of Africa, we are lingering in terms of education. We are backward in terms of education. No. People live there to go and school in even common Ghana here. People live there to South Africa to school. The issue of this kind of strike is not happening there. So I am appealing to the minister to please, because I don't have blame from ASO right now. The blame I'm having is that singular statement from the minister, no work, no pay. Please, you not repeat that one again to the sound of the ears of we the parents. Otherwise, we will also join them to march around the streets. Please.
Okay, thank you, Haji Bakodogo. We'll come back to you. Bishop Lucky of Monabia, I know that you are also very disturbed because without proper education, no country can develop. So, what's your opening remarks regarding this problem?
Well, what I'm going to say is that the government should pay whatever they are demanding for.
Okay.
You cannot be owing somebody, whether area or whatever, and you that is saying there's no money, you are buying some Prado Jeep and doing so many things. You don't expect to be quiet. People that are doing this to our leader now, they benefit from the same system when it was good and better. But now they enter, they wanted to make it, but no one like them because their children are not in this country. They squash in this country. We the men, we on ground, the Nigerians, we are the one actually in this school and the University of Benin and the rest that are suffering it because they actually outside this country. Until there's a law made by how they are going to create that law that every political office holder, your children should be going to the school in this state. Then you will now understand what we are facing. If you are a governor of the state of children in Uniben, you will understand what happened in Uniben.
Exactly.
When you are a House of Rep, Senate, or whatever, all your children are attending school in those states. Whatever state you won the election from, okay, they will now be having the right to all the state. As far as children is in US, Ghana, whatever, they don't care. Until that is done, this strike will keep on coming and coming and coming and coming. Because now also on strike now, it's on Monday. Now people are doing meetings. People are doing open of us, people are being inaugurated into offices. The governor sit down, president sat down, the minister who said no work, no pay, he's still not involved. Maybe children in UK, he just saying what he want to say. Even though we join it tomorrow and go and do the marching, he may still change his mind and pay half and still keep the rest until he pile up again to become problem before they talk about it. That is the only way Nigeria can settle. If the people that are in office, their children are living among us.
Thank you very much. We'll come back to you, but Haji Bako, yeah, I want to react to that. do you really think that there's need for a law that will force all public office holders, politicians, that their children must attend schools in Nigeria?
Well, as a matter of fact, the issue of that law cannot hold. You know why?
Okay.
There is law that you will be thinking about, and the law will be able to implement it. Okay. Sometimes it's not issue of making law. Just like the last president of the House of Assembly in Edo State, who made a law that tomorrow they not be able to implement. There should be open grazing law. Nobody have been able to implement it, but he just made it in a hurry because we want to see people see
ban
that.
On open grazing.
The ban on open grazing. There is a law in ban of open grazing,
yes.
But we still see cattle roaming about. But that law cannot be implemented at all. That is the issue of telling that we should make a law that everybody must, all the minister, all the commissioner, the children must school here. But the thing is that if we know what we are doing with the citizenry, we can enforce that one on our own. We can enforce that one on our own. But the problem is, one, by the time you want to enforce it, who sent you? You become in a way by who asked you to do it. When we see a minister, that is what you call reporting journalism. The journalist is supposed to be fighting those things. You understand? Just as it's done in outside country. Because journalists are the investigating people in outside the country. But in Nigeria here, journalists are just there. I'm sorry to say that you are journalists. Journalists are just there. Anyone that come and you see your dad is the best person. The police does not investigate more. It is the journalists that investigate. So when you see minister that the children are not here, you blow the whistle. People like us are ready to also march. That's why we are kings. Because one, I tell somebody the other time, it is hard time we start speaking. If Nigeria is good, it's not only good for the president, it's good for every one of us. I am a proud Nigerian. I am happy to live in Nigeria. By the grace of God, I see Nigeria as one of the best countries that have traveled around the world. You understand me so? But today, the issue of strike, there's nowhere you don't strike. In US, in Britain, even in Canada, everywhere they strike. But strike is to correct the anomalies that is happening between the civil servant. Even in your house, your wife strikes sometimes. Even you as a man, you also strike. But I say, I will not eat. It's part of strike. Strike is part of every one of us. Because when you are aggrieved, you will say, this thing I will not do. You can even tell your wife, no, I won't touch you today because I am on strike. It's part of it. So the minister should not, again, because we don't want to hear that kind of statement, no work, no pay. No. As a farmer, as the chairman of farmers in the Edo, you cannot threaten anybody that if you don't go to farm, government will come and go arrest you. No. You can only appeal to them. What they need, those people need, even though you cannot meet to all their demand, is to appeal to them. Okay, we will do ABC. DEZ will not be done now. Please, you see, they are human. They will also see to what you are saying. But my problem again is that we have a lot of professors. I don't know the criteria of giving people professors.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
I know you have a lot to talk about that. But just joining us virtually is the HOD, Mass Communication Department, University of Benin, Associate Professor Dan Eherafo. Earlier, I wanted to introduce him when we started the program. Doctor, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you for joining us on the program 60 Minutes Nigeria. We are looking at the effect of the strike of ASUU on Nigeria's education system. I know that you are not the spokesman of ASUU, but we are looking at what the lecturers are really passing through, because so many people do not know the plight of the lecturers. They just look at it from the surface. ASUU on strike again is always the headline. But I want you to tell us, because you are part of the lecturers on strike. So what do you think is really the problem, and what do you think can be done?
Well, the reality about all strike is this. I need to provide a background so that people understand. Ideally, you are not supposed to have more than 40 students in a class for those students with social science and art-related courses. And those in the sciences, you are not supposed to have more than 30, 15, depending on the nature of the course, like engineering and sciences. But if you look at the student enrollment in our university, you have some over 100, some up to 200, depending on the department. Also had agreement with government, employ more teachers so that students can be taught in the right way. Government said the resources to do all of that is not available. So government signed an agreement with the union that they will pay a certain allowance for this type of arrangement. Unfortunately, that arrangement has not worked because government does not release the fund. In 2017, following the breakdown of this agreement, government set up a committee to renegotiate this agreement.
Okay, we're having network issues there. The network problems seem to be affecting the comments of our guests who has joined us virtually. Associate Professor Dan Eherafo, HOD, Mass Communication Department, University of Benin, will be joining him once the network is stable. And because we need to, it was just, he started by giving us the background to the problem, because many persons are not aware of the background and why ASUU has resorted to strike. There are so many agreements that have been signed but not honored according to ASUU, and they are not happy because they want these agreements to be implemented. Once we get Associate Professor Herafo, he will tell us more, because there are so many problems that is in the public domain, but not so many people are aware. Okay, let's also get the, before we come back to His Royal Highness, he has a lot to talk about what professors should do for Nigeria, but let's also get the thought of Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. Now, you said it would have been better, assuming it's possible, to have a law, but we know that that may not be feasible for now. But don't you think that government should find a way of resolving this incessant strike by ASUU, by lecturers? If they need to maybe create funds that can take care of their financial needs, or don't you think there should be ways to solve this problem?
Thank you, Mr. I say government has money. This Nigerian government, they has money. Now, look at what the master said. There's an agreement that normally each lecturer, each department should be having about 15, 30 students. Now I have to 200, 500. And they needed to employ more lecturers. And the government said there's no fund. Now, the government has said there's no fund. We see here the same government buying prodigies on some senators and some House of Reps. Now, if they convert those prodigy money to employ those lecturers, I think this trouble will be solved. See, life is about sacrifice. If you must get it, the leader will make sacrifice. Until the leaders are making what sacrifice to help our educational system, the university lecturers and everybody, then this battle will keep on going, because the point that there's no sacrifice from the up. It's only the people that are making what? Sacrifice. That is why the thing is biting hard on the people. And when the battle of the lecturer will not refer it back to the parents at home. But I do one or two things that will say, okay, buy that, buy this, buy that. They fall back on us because the government are not doing what it's supposed to do. You see, as a leader, I'm a leader. As a leader, sometimes I stay hungry to make sure my workers eat. Because those people, they depend on me to survive. Then if I now decided to be eating and making my children look better and their own is suffering, I am open door for battle against myself, against my household. Now that's what is happening to us now. The government has opened up battle between them and ASUU, then we, the parents, suffer it. It's like the battle of we went to early to fight, the grass suffer. That's what we are now. Then the government should do one thing. all the money for buying new Prado Jeep, new jet and all. You can repair all these things. We repair our cars. You can buy parts, repair these cars, and they start using it and focus on the future of this country. Because the future of this country is not just we, it's our children. If we lay a wrong foundation for them, and the people who want to become leader tomorrow are not well trained, they are not grounded, when they talk about matter of leadership, they'll be worse than us and become more corrupt and more wicked than what we are seeing now, because why they are not well trained. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. I'll just quickly highlight what he has just said. He's talking about cost of governance, that the federal government, state government, even the local government level, there should be stringent measures to reduce cost of governance. Extravagant lifestyle of politicians in Nigeria has assumed a worsening dimension. You see convoy of public office holders, a very long convoy. They have to fuel those vehicles, and you know the amount involved. So Nigerians are watching and they are not happy. That is what Bishop Lucky Omonabiese has just said, that we should reduce governance, save money, and inject the money into Nigeria's education and take care of the lecturers, meet the needs of the lecturers, sign agreement and implement the agreement. It's not just negotiation. At the end, federal government is being accused of reneging on such negotiations. That's what my guests have said. But we're going to take a break. Before we take a break, His Royal Highness said professors should also convince Nigerians on research. I think that's what you're trying to talk about. Okay.
You see, we are talking just now. My very good friend is talking about Prado Jeep. If I were in the government shoe, Prado Jeep is not even enough. I'll give you a reason why it's not enough.
Okay.
I followed somebody to show during the campaign. The person could not see money to bring her. They drove us away.
From the campaign ground?
From the campaign ground, yes. Because we, the populists, are also being greedy. If to become a councillor today, if you don't have up to 40 million, you cannot become a councillor.
But that's wrong for our politics.
No, that's because that is where we find ourselves.
Because we can have young men who are intelligent, who have the capacity, but they don't have the money.
If you don't have
so does it mean
money,
they cannot vie for offices?
They cannot, because we have not gotten that kind of system that we say we have to play according to the gallery. But this one, for you to become a governor, you know how much they spend? For you to become a senator, House of Rep, if you know how much they spend, Prado Jeep is not enough for them to be riding. Now, let us be frank to ourselves. We will not come to the television house to say we want to plant it as with him. Because those people have spent money. How do you expect them to are they going to be on the salary for them to get the money? All those allowance you are seeing, looking allowance, sleeping allowance, is part of the money they have spent before. If the populace have not also meet them, all of us will also have a voice to say, no, we don't want, none of us can challenge any of them. Because we collected money from them. Are you with me now? We collect from them. So nobody can challenge them to say, why are you spending money? No. So let us be frank. My problem now with the professors in the school, because I don't know how come many today that we have a lot of professors who are just professors by math. They have not even invent anything. They are not going to research for anything. Before you become a professor in America or in UK, you must have something that you are inventing. You must have something that you have research that you are doing. Somebody did a research on this consumption of fuel that people is selling in the market there. What is our professor really doing? What is making us to say the federal government, the state government, or the populists are proud of our professors in Nigeria? I don't see anything they are researching. Even the one in the medical section, even the one in the automobile section, name them. What are our professors really doing? It's just to stay in school, carry that big name, and professor so and so. Professor for what? If they are researching right now, they are doing the right thing. The federal government will be able to say, look, if I cannot toy with people like this, you are not contributing anything to the society. You are making man professor.
But I think
I am appealing to them. They should also wake up and start doing one thing that will make the populace to say, no, if those people are not there, we will not accept. The government, you must do this. Rather, what we see in the university is a university of every university is a university of standard. Because that is what most of them specialize in doing, selling of handout. That is not what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be going to research what Nigeria will benefit from, what will make this country grow. It's not to go to this thing with a fat belly and sit there in the class and say, yes, if you don't get your handout, you will not pass this thing. I graduated from University of Benin. I also know what some of us passed through. So I am appealing to the professors. I am appealing to the, what do you call it, the doctors. You call that man just now. What name do you give to him just now?
Just continue.
No, tell me. I want to know.
No.
So they call you a very big name just now. You said you should also be doing things that will make us to be proud,
yes.
And to make the populace to be proud. The government will not say, "Look, I cannot tour with those people." It's like you go to US now. You see those people that are invented to go to moon. The government does not tour with them. Whatever they want, they are doing it. How many of us? How many professors that are into that system that are saying, "Okay, we want to go to moon today. We have invented things that will take us from Agbado Market to New Benin."
Okay.
Or we have also make a car that we don't use who deal on a solar. I don't see this. I don't see it. Or we have also make a cooking this thing that where the reflection of sunlight you can to cook. So we also want the professors, our lecturers to be doing things that will make the government to also be proud of them.
Okay, thank you very much. Before we take a break, let me quickly highlight that the opinions expressed on this program are the opinions of my guest and not a reflection of the station. Then we do not have any of the professors on this program to also defend the professors. But I know that some professors have carried out research, and some of this research are very, very useful to humanity. Just that maybe after the break, we'll just highlight some of them that we are aware of, that some of these professors have done. Some have also complained that they don't even have funds to carry out research. Some have carried out research, they don't have funds to expand on such research. I know we've heard of complaints like that. But all the same, I think what His Royal Highness is saying that, yes, there is need to do more. The professors must do more for the development of Nigeria. That's the point. We'll take a break, and after that, we'll continue on the freeze, the strike by lecturers and its toll, its effect on the education in Nigeria. Okay, nice to have you back on the program. It is 60 Minutes Nigeria. ASUU strike has affected the education in Nigeria, especially the tertiary education. That's what we are focusing on. Some students are actually writing exams before the strike. Now they are unable to write, and that is really affecting them. The Minister of Education has issued a circular, Dr. Tunji Alausa. No work, no pay. According to the circular, the government expressed disappointment over the union's decision to embark on strike despite ongoing engagement efforts. The government warned that it will no longer condone disruptions to the academic calendar, but it's already happening. But my guests have said there's need for negotiation. But before the break, one of my guests talked about the need for professors to do more, achieve some technological breakthroughs that can help the development of Nigeria so that the government can be proud of them. While we're on break, we just discussed, and I remember a professor from Edo State, from University of Benin, who achieved success in a stem cell transplant, which has to do with sickle cell, with the bone marrows and all of that. So there are other professors who have also carried out, who have done research, and they have landmark achievement. We may not be able to mention them here because that is not really our discussion. But then, what my guest has said is also very important. There's need for universities to carry out research that can help the development of the country. For instance, electricity has been a problem. But we've seen some companies that have generated their own electricity. But there are some universities without electricity. So they can also carry out research and generate their own electricity. That would be a huge achievement. I think that's what it's trying to say. But we'll move on. The education sector in Nigeria has suffered. Bishop Lucky Omonabia, don't you think so? Don't you think that with this strike, the private universities will be benefiting? And not every parent can afford the fees of private universities.
Yes, as I said before that, the private university will only benefit
Okay.
because the people who that university got the knowledge of establishing university to help people who want to finish their course without strike.
Okay.
By Google, in our government standard, strike delay your
Graduation.
4 years can become 5 years, can become 6 years. And people are now saying, okay, let me just put my daughter in private university, let it finish early and face his life. But that's not the best for the system of education. But what the government need to do is that the government need to sit down the round table with these people and negotiate whatever they are discussing. Then do, if they cannot do, or they do half. And start doing this little by word. Maybe before the end of next year, they're able to clear everywhere and balance the ASU issue and the lecturers issue, and things will be working. Because the government come to understanding with these people, there will be battle between the government and the ASU and we, the parents. Now, we are already fighting the battle now. Because my daughter is at home.
Can't go to school.
Can't go to school. She was writing an exam before now, the exam is paused.
Yes.
Now she's going to go back to school maybe after 2 weeks of the result until they don't do it. They now start pushing her to write the whole paper in 3 days. That will stress her brain, stress her body, and system. Because already affecting me now because of government inability to do the right thing. Now, I come back to the Royal Highness. At least, as I said, I know that our system of politics is very bad. That's where the problem is. That's why until they come to the level and say, politics in Nigeria is no longer a career. Yeah. You go there, if you have what it takes to deliver, we vote for you. When the masses also agree that we won't take money again, then give us who is professional, who can deliver, who can make this work. We voted. Then if money is out of it, that become normal deliver Nigeria. Qualification. Then you will see this problem will stop. Because Nigeria politics is full of dollarized, not even naira. It's dollarized.
Money back politics.
Yeah. Now, if you have no dollar in your pocket, nobody cares. That's why I said I was planning last time I was watching news that one of our renowned minister of federal government has some forgery issue and they resign.
Yes.
And that. Okay, because of those
Minister of Innovation.
Yeah.
Science and Innovation.
He resigned before the case became something else. Why? Because he's not qualified. He entered there through money bag certificate. Now, if you study journalism and they say, okay, you are going to become Minister of Communication, Orientation, you will deliver. You understand what you need to flow.
Yeah.
But if someone has studied law, is in that position, he can't deliver because we don't quote law in that place.
Yeah. I agree with you.
If all these things is able to be out of the system, and it cannot be out if government allow hunger to go. The hunger is that the government should let people go back to agriculture.
Okay.
Make room for more farmers because food is very necessity. If there is food in society, crime reduce because a hungry man is an angry man. Anywhere in the world, if you are hungry, you can't reason well. Then if they come back to agriculture and let them flow, by the time there's no food in the society, then you see that people will now be thinking, okay, if I see this you have 40 billion and it cannot get a community to work well, and I see Mr. Osa, I have nothing, we can make community work well, I work with you. But by the time there's hunger, you came to me, I know you have what it takes to make it work. Because I have no food at home. I came and he has not to make it work, but he has what will give me food.
Yes.
To survive me that day.
Yes.
Because I am hungry, I forgot the future, I took my survival. Then when he got there, then he forget about me and I recover his money back. And that is where we find ourselves. I hope that one day that the government that understand the nature of Africa system will come to rule Nigeria and peace will reign, joy will become the order of the day.
Thank you very much. I think the message is very clear from Bishop Lucky Omolabi. We need to stop money back politics in Nigeria because the lecturers are not happy when they notice that the students that they trained, students that pass through them in university system, eventually go into politics. are elected, before you know it, they are not very wealthy. Whereas the lecturers who train them still cannot be like them. They are not happy about it. But we'll talk more after this break. Okay, nice to have you back. It is 60 Minutes Nigeria, and my guest is Royal Highness Alhaji Bako Dogo. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so
and
much.
of course, a renowned clergyman, entrepreneur, who is also into agriculture as well. Bishop Loke Monabia say thank you very much for your time. They represent the parents on the show. Unfortunately, we're having network and technical issues. We couldn't get our guests continue virtually on the program, but he made very important comments regarding the background to the crisis. He talked about the number of students agreed, about 40 in a class for just a lecturer, but that is not what is on the ground. Some lecturers are made to teach so many students, so they are supposed to be compensated, and they are saying that that compensation has not come. That was part of the comments of Associate Professor Dan Akwarafo before we had the technical issue. Okay, Alhaji Bako, the way forward. Because you were talking about, even outside the tertiary education, that the 633 that was introduced would have really helped to develop the education sector. Maybe you want to talk more.
You see, I don't know why there is no continuity in government. There is a program, a very laudable program the federal government introduced to Nigeria education system, which is 6334. 6 years in the primary school, 3 years in junior secondary school, 3 years in senior secondary school, and 4 years in the university.
Yes, sir.
But that within that time, you can finish from your primary school. When you get to secondary school, you go into handwork.
Vocational skills.
Vocational skills. It was being said every school must have this vocational service. But I'm surprised, even those things that were bought that time to some school, not up to 6 months, they were always they vandalized everything. If that system is in place, Nigeria will not be talking about I'm looking for employment. The moment you are in secondary school, you learn and handwork. Even though you don't finish that secondary school, you get your certificate in that junior secondary school. You move ahead and go and open your own. Or the government could have said, okay, we will empower you, take this machine, if it's tailoring, if it's welding, if it's bricklaying that you are doing, go and establish. And you see Nigeria will be just like we are hiring those people, technicians from abroad coming to Nigeria who are not even educated. And they are coming to come and rule on us. Whereas they are just tertiary artisans. But we bring them to Nigeria, we call them because as an expert.
Expatriates.
Yes, expatriates. And whether they are not, they just finished from junior. They just finished from junior. Now they are back in Nigeria. Yeah, we take them in Nigeria. We are calling them expatriates. Where our people, the federal government, the state government has failed in that aspect. They should reintroduce that system that we are still practicing that is not obtainable, which is 6334. And Nigeria will be a better place for every one of us. I am appealing because when that thing was introduced, I was so happy. Say yes, we have got it right. But before you know, that thing's collapsed, and we are still doing it tomorrow. Okay, now the issue of that certificate, I don't know whether they are still writing it or not. The federal government, the state government should please introduce it back to the system in order for Nigeria to be able to become sustainable in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Your closing remarks, Bishop Loki. Tertiary education. Some persons believe that we emphasize certificate more than handwork. But some universities are now doing entrepreneurial programs to equip our youth. So your closing remarks along that line.
Well, I believe that it should introduce vocational training along with the theory.
Yes.
I went to Benin Technical School. I studied carpentry and building construction. I came out with my certificate and my trade test. Today I build houses. I draw plan. I research plan. I do many things. Well, I'm still a pastor. Now, if all those things are introduced,
Yes.
you will see that we will not be fighting for become a politician. You will see people just be succeeding without stress. I was going to Benin Technical School. When I finished all this, okay, I studied, I came back to myself, I said, no, I'm going to be tight collar, looking for a job, and the whole
Yes.
let me go into building. Today, I am doing well. Then they should introduce us how all of us can do well.
Yes.
So we will not be fighting each other. Let this fight stop and let good things work so that peace can reign.
Thank you very much. On that note, we say thanks for being a part of this week's edition of the program. There's need to translate classroom teachings to practical knowledge. I think that's the conclusion that my guests have posited. It is very important. People need to acquire vocational skills. And finally, federal government should meet the demands of ASUU to stop incessant strike. Nigeria's educational system need to be revamped. Thanks for being a part of the program. Do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.